Today, I'm taking you to one of the most important historical sites in the Philippines, the American Cemetery here in BGC, Manila. This is a place that holds a special significance, not just for the people of the Philippines, but for people all around the world.
Wow, this is quite a place. This place is immaculately well kept, but there's just thousands and thousands of these crosses and stars. It's really quite amazing.
The American Cemetery in Manila is the final resting place of over 17,000 American soldiers who lost their lives fighting in the Pacific during World War II.
Not sure how much you can see behind me on this shot, but the crosses just go all the way around the hill. They go right the way around in a big circle, basically, of this massive, massive cemetery.
It's a place of quiet reflection and solemn remembrance. And as I walk along the rows of white crosses and stars of David, I can't help but feel a sense of awe and sadness.
Not sure if it's because the time of day that I've come here, it's 1 p.m. in the afternoon, it is very hot, but I'm the only person here, which is I don't even know how to describe it as an experience. To be around all of these, being a cemetery like this is quite an eerie experience. So a lot of these crosses are named, but a lot of them also just say, "Here rests in honoured glory a comrade in arms, known but to God." So just making my way up this main strip that is absolutely immaculate. There's a big monument at the end there, so I'm just going to go see what that is, and I believe there's a visitor centre over there as well, so I'm going to learn a bit more about this place. It's quite a beautifully unsettling place is the way I describe this. The sacrifice everyone made that's laid here to allow the luxury lifestyle in BGC behind it really is quite amazing, quite amazing. So this plaque reads, "In proud remembrance of the achievements of our sons and in humble tribute to their sacrifices. This memorial has been erected by the United States of America, 1941 to 1945. So these infographics on the wall, murals almost, are actually stunning. What a way to portray the information about the complexity of the war, and just to see the sheer scale of what was happening, all the different land masses that were involved, and how many sheer volume of people were involved. It's massively eye-opening, massively. So as we come through, this wall reads, "Included on these rolls are the names of Philippine scouts who shared with their American comrades in the defense and liberation of the Philippines."
Inscribed on the walls are 32,286 names of those that were never found following their service.
So the walls here are just covered in the names of the people that are laid to rest here, and it's really just, when you see the sheer scale of it, it's absolutely incredible. If they're got out their name in gold, it's actually a Medal of Honour was awarded to them. I'm not too clued up on the military terms and whatnot, but I would imagine that's extreme bravery was shown or something like that.
It's not just American soldiers who are buried here. There are also soldiers from the Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, and many, many more. It's a stark reminder that the war is a global tragedy that affects people from all walks of life. I would like to take a little bit of time to share more about the liberation of the Philippines. This is read word for word from the National World War II Museum, and I've linked the article in the description so you can read the whole thing. I find this a fascinating read, so I hope you do too. Please note, however, that some people may find this section disturbing. The US Army Forces in the Far East was created on July 26, 1941, and consisted of around about 100,000 Filipinos and 20,000 American soldiers. Their main task was to perform a delaying action on the mouth of Manila Bay. Not a month had passed after the Japanese invasion of the Philippines on December the 8th before these troops were placed on half rations. Despite promises by their commanding general that thousands of troops and hundreds of planes were being dispatched, no help ever arrived. The majority of the troops were suffering from disease and starvation when they surrendered on April 9, 1942. They were forced to walk to their prison camp some 65 miles away under extreme tropical conditions with no provisions for food, water, shelter, or medicine. Those who could no longer go on were beaten, bayoneted, shot, and even beheaded by their Japanese captors. Thousands died in what became known as the Bataan Death March. In one case, a group of 350 soldiers who had just surrendered were herded to a river and massacred. But despite the agony of defeat, the armed forces soldiers delayed the Japanese army's 50-day timetable by holding on to the Bataan Peninsula for 99 days. When the US 1st Cavalry arrived in Manila on February 3, 1945, it proceeded to Santo Tomas University north of the Pasig River, where 3,785 Allied civilian prisoners of war had been kept for over 3 years. While the American troops were met on the streets by jubilant civilians, what happened next south of the river where the Japanese soldiers were entrenched was a systematic slaughter of men, women and children. The battle became one of the largest urban struggles during World War II, resulting in the indiscriminate deaths of 100,000 people. The Battle of Manila was one of the most brutal and devastating battles of World War II. The city was left in ruins and tens of thousands of civilians lost their lives. It's a tragedy that still resonates with people today.
So that's me halfway around now. At each kind of end of each of these sections, there's these beautiful infographic rooms where they just display what happens in such an amazing way, such an artistic way. But yeah, again, the sheer scale of everything that was going on, just absolutely unbelievable. Exactly halfway round, they've got this tower behind me. I don't know what you call it, I don't know if it's Tower of Remembrance, but you can go in and leave a message, and it's beautifully done inside. The artwork in this place is just absolutely amazing. There's a small museum at the back here, so I'm just going to go check out and see what that is. Yeah, that museum was nice actually. Again, very well done. It's fascinating reading all the stuff that was going on down there and whatnot, but it was more aimed at the war overall with a slight twist towards the Philippines rather than the cemetery itself. But yeah, still very interesting to read it all. So I'm just wandering back around the other half before heading off. Well, this side appears to more be the Navy. The first side was a lot of Army, but this is, yeah, Navy. All these walls are just Navy, Navy, Navy. Again, sheer scale of it is incredible. Part of me really wants to use the drone. I do have it with me, but there's a huge part of me also that says maybe this is just not the place to do that. I would love to give an aerial view of this just to show the scale. It doesn't feel right, so I'm not going to. So that's me just heading off, but yeah, what an incredible experience it is coming here. If you are in Manila, you should definitely pay a visit here, even if you're not American. It touches the soul, it's absolutely amazing. But yeah, it's such an eye-opening experience coming here. Honestly, for me, it's not this overwhelming sense of problems we discuss in this era are just so pathetic by comparison to the problems that they had in this era. I feel incredibly grateful to be born when I was. If I was born, 50 years earlier, completely different life, completely different existence. And yeah, it's actually incredible coming here, so highly recommend it.
As a foreigner living in the Philippines, it's easy to forget about the country's painful history. But places like this remind us of the sacrifices made by the people who came before us, and the struggles they endured.
I do feel I need to say a massive thank you to whoever is involved in maintaining this place. I believe it's a kind of American war memorial body along with the Philippines counterparts, but they do an amazing job. The place is immaculate. Thanks to all the groundskeepers for making this such a unique and, again, hauntingly beautiful experience to wander through this area. And this is right in the middle of BGC as well, here in Manila. It's not far, literally it's a 10-minute walk from the kind of nightlife hotspots and all that stuff is enjoyed because of the sacrifices of these people here. So, maraming salamat.
Visiting the American Cemetery in BGC Manila has been a deeply emotional experience for me. It's a reminder that war is a tragedy that affects us all, and that we must do everything in our power to prevent it from ever happening again. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I know it wasn't my normal style video, but I felt obliged to play a very small part in raising awareness of both the cemetery here in Manila, and more importantly, the unbelievable sacrifice of those that are buried here and those with their names on the wall that were never found. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.